Hey, this is Toe2 Bravo, and I've managed to make it out to the range again. It's been quite a while, but it's good to be back out here. It's early October. Leaves are starting to fall. Temperature's still a little muggy, but from what I understand, those are supposed to change this weekend. Maybe drop down into the 50s or 40s. That'd be pleasant. But that's not why we're here. Here today to shoot the Glock 43 against the Sig P365. Again, the limitations of this particular competition are my ability to shoot the firearms well, not probably entirely on what the capabilities of these two firearms are, because obviously they're capable of much more than I can probably get out of them. But this is based on my abilities to shoot both of these fairly at 7.5 yards and see what we can come up with. In my opinion, the Glock 43 is a Hall of Famer concealed carry pistol, and the Sig P365 is well on its way to being a Hall of Famer. Maybe not quite yet, but I think we're almost there. Definitely a Hall of Famer by design with the 12-round magazine compared to the extension I had to put on the Glock 43 to get me to 8. So that's enough yapping. Let's put some rounds down range. 7.5 yards. We'll start off today with the Glock 43, followed by the Sig P365. Be right back. All right. Glock Sig shoot off, 7.5 yards. Here we go. Watch your lane. This is cold firing. I haven't shot either one of these pistols in quite some time. Complete. Definitely shot a little to the left with the Glock. So here we go with the Sig. Complete. Let's go down range and take a look. All right, we're at 7.5 yards. I'm shooting both pistols to the left quite a bit. Obviously I had more rounds in the Sig than I did the Glock, but really I think we have a very similar pattern. Went solely off of center mass type hits. Obviously the Sig I had 2, and the Glock I had 1. So why don't we patch these up? We'll load equal number of rounds in magazines, and let's reshoot that again, same distance. Alright, so here we are, round 2 of the Glock and Sig shoot. What I've done, the first series is over and done with, so we can't take that back. So on the second series, to make it as fair as possible, I've loaded both pistols with just 8 rounds, and I have loaded them both with the extended magazines. So we're about as fair as I think I can get as far as setup, and they are both loaded with the Wolf 9mm 115 grain cheapy ammo. So when I come back, we'll shoot again at 7.5 yards and see how we do. Alright, enough yapping. Second series. Glock versus Sig. We have new targets up. And here we go. Let's see what we come up with. We're in frame. Here we go. Alright, 8 rounds down range with the Glock. Next, Sig. Make sure we're in frame. Here we go. 8 rounds. Wow. Alright. It got dicey those first couple rounds. I was putting way too much thought into it. Let's go down range and look at it and we'll talk about it. Alright. Second series. You know, my first round with the Glock was here. And then I saw what I was doing. I was drifting the front sight a little too much to the left. It was just shooter error, which put me over here quite a bit. Corrected, and I was able to put 1, 2, 3, 4 rounds total in the bullseye area, maybe 3. That looks like it might be 2. I'd have to review. We got 1, 2, 3. I'm not sure if that's just wood splatter or not, but it looks like we might have 4 here, 4 off. And then with the Sig, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but 6, 7, and I think 8 were just horrible. I was putting way too much thought into it, which is a problem of mine. I'll get behind those sights, and when I'm trying to do something like this, and I'll just totally overcompensate. Won't get a squared up sight picture and shit the bed. So let's do one more series of 8 each, and then we'll come back and talk about it and come up with a final decision. Alright, third and final series, Glock Sig, 7.5 yards again. New targets are up. Here we go. Rounds down range with the Glock. We're going to transition right into the Sig. Alright, all rounds complete. Let's go down range and talk about it. Alright. Alright, here we are. This was our final series of 3. And that felt a lot better. It could be a couple of factors. I think I know what it is. First, I haven't been out to shoot in quite some time. So I've shit the bed there with just fundamentals. Second was I shot more naturally that time. Instead of taking my time and trying to just, you know, aim and make sure everything's perfect before I pulled the trigger, I just shot as I would, as naturally as I could, and with a higher rate of fire. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that were in the orange for the Glock, and I think we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the orange
for the Sig, but the Sig is a tighter, cleaner group, and overall, the Glock 43 for me is more comfortable to shoot as far as recoil impulse and snappiness. I think I'm able to get back on target, but then the actual marksmanship and the accuracy and the hits here really don't reflect that. I mean, that's how it felt to me. It felt like the Glock was more comfortable to shoot and felt more natural in my hand, but I obviously shot the Sig better. I think the Sig brings me back to a natural sight picture better because of the way that it sits in your hand and the way that it's made. It's more of a, for a lack of a professional or an industry term, it's more of a square in my hand. So it feels like it just doesn't float as much. I don't know. Just rambling on at this point, right? So overall, I shot the Sig better, I think. If we count orange hits, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 we'll review by camera. So we'll just say until we can review camera footage, we had 19 on the Sig side, and on the Glock side we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we had 14 orange hits on the Glock side. Of course this means nothing in the big picture, but it was just a fun comparison for me. You know, maybe you'll get something out of it. Maybe I'll get a bunch of comments that say that this was a complete waste of time. But it was fun for me, and that ultimately is what counts. So this is Toe2 Bravo. I appreciate you watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave some comments. I'll try to answer them a little better than I have in the past. And things have been a little busy, a little hectic. So it's good to be back out at the range, and thanks for watching.
All right, this round's going to be a little something different. What we're going to do is we're going to shoot from a concealed carry, and the goal is to get the rounds within the paper. And this is to simulate maybe a stressful situation where you have to react fast. You have a bad guy or a threat to your front, and you have to stop that threat, and we want to put as many rounds into that target until it stops. In this case, we're going to go with the full magazine before the threat stops. So we're going to get ready. We're going to walk up to the start line because we're not going to be in a tense situation. Let's just say it's just happening. So I'm going to walk up to the line, draw, and engage. So here we go. I see the target, bad guy. All rounds down range. All right. That didn't go over too well. All right. So here we go. We're going to walk up with the Sig this time. Again, we shot the full capacity of the magazine. So obviously the Sig has more rounds. Let's go down range, take a look, see what we came up with. So we had 11 rounds on paper with the Sig. We had 7 on for the Glock. Terrible memory loss. Terrible that I couldn't remember that. So ultimately, the Sig was had more center mass hits. So overall, I think with all the shooting today so far, again, we came back and revisited this after we were going to wrap it up. But I think overall the Sig shoots better.